Hey everybody. Today I want to talk about coming home, where the end meets the beginning and we come full cycle, as where our souls first incarnated or first became apparent as a separate entity from source and started to journey and became beings and incarnated in all the different ways that we've had, all the different walks in life that we've had, all the different things that we've experienced to come. And I really feel absolutely, and this was confirmed again today in a really powerful way, in a really powerful session, where we are absolutely coming full cycle. It's that image for me of the snake eating its own tail. It's an ancient symbol. Or just of the circle, of knowing ourselves completely. And this time of knowing ourselves as a separate little individual, having this lifetime or this experience or having this story, having these sets of conditions and having a limited perception of self, like I am my conditions, I'm a result of my conditions, and I can move no further than that, and I can be no more than that which I've been conditioned to be. That all of those experiences come together like a string of pearls on a necklace, each lifetime being this pearl, or each experience being a pearl, and coming together where the necklace then gets joined and it becomes a full cycle, it becomes a full circle. So this soul's journey really coming to an end. And for some people, I know, it feels like a long haul, it feels like a long old road and a long walk. And I really just want to say, well done. You've walked really far. It seems like your journey has gone on forever for many of you, maybe not everybody. Some people might feel it's brand new and just beginning. And it is that as well. But for those of us that feel that we've been here a long time, and sometimes it feels like we might never finish. Where's that finishing line? Where's the point where we can get let off the hook? Where's the point where we can say, you've done enough, you can go home now? Hand your work in, hand in your schoolwork, hand in your amazing drawings and designs and amazing figurings out that you've done in life. The incredible things you've learned, the incredible things you've understood, the incredible patterns you've put together in your mind, the things that you've done or the things that you feel like you've failed in, whatever it is, you've done it. You've done so well. You are here right now. Whatever you've been through and whatever you're continuing to feel like you're still going through, like just take stock right now. Just open your eyes and feel, just put your hands on yourself and go, wow, here I am. Take a breath. Here you are. You arrived. You made it through what seemed like impossible conditions, impossible situations, that you exist. It's almost seemingly impossible, actually, that you even exist. A total seeming polarity of energies, the infinite, of the great spirit, of your soul, of light, of energy, of maybe nothingness. What is that? The intangible comes together with this finite body, physical, dense matter that feels pain, that hits, that feels, that gets beaten up a little bit or whatever, or is very tender or very soft like a baby, and very real. The seeming impossibility of infinite and finite coming together has happened and is happening right now. That seems like impossible conditions for those two to exist in the same space, and yet they do, and you are. And this breath, like that thread on the pearls, holding each thing together, holding the infinite and the finite together, holding you together. You are that. You are being breathed. It's absolutely incredible. It seems impossible. It seems like a miracle, and yet it's happening. And it's so obvious. It happens right under our noses and we don't even realize. So come back to that place. Come back to this moment and feel that perfection that's already happening. Recognize, remember, re-remember Remember your journey. And maybe it's time to lay down your head like this. Ugh. Maybe it's time for you to say, okay, I crossed that finishing post. I can stop now. Maybe you need to give yourself that permission. Maybe you're waiting for somebody else, or the world, or God, or your family, or your brother, or your mum, or your dad, or the angels, or something to give you permission and say, you did enough. I see you. Well done. Well, if I could be any of those things for you right now, that would be amazing. That would be such an honor. And I would say just that. You did it. Well done. Now come home. And maybe it seems like home is a long, long way away. I mean, we are in 2012. There's been so much talk about the shift in 2012. There's been so much, maybe it is going to happen in December, this definitive moment of something. And the way I see it, it's like a quantum leap. And it seems like such a huge thing to go from one apparent reality into another. Sorry, I just have to plug the computer in before the battery runs out. And maybe it seems like, a lot of people have been saying for at least the last year or more, it feels like going from one world into another world. And maybe standing there with both feet on the old world going, I really want to jump. Or maybe you've got one foot in each world going, oh my God, I can't stay like this much longer, because you're going to fall on your ass. Or maybe you've jumped. Maybe you've just put both feet in that new world, whatever that means, I don't know what it means for you. I know what it means for me, or I have a sense of it and a feeling, but I'm kind of talking in feeling terms. So you kind of, maybe you know what I'm talking about because you can feel it, because you sense it, because you know. And it's getting more and more obvious. There is this sense of a shift going from one known perception or reality or sense of self or limited self into something else. Something more expanded, something more free, something more full of joy, something more relinquished, more released, more surrendered, more at home, more, less separate. Less separate. So that's what I'm talking about. And sometimes it feels like for all of us to make that leap, for all of us to make that shift, feels like a tall order, feels like a huge thing sometimes. And again, I hear people looking around going, can it really happen? Sometimes people seem so asleep, the world seems so asleep. Is it really going to happen? Can it happen? And for me, it seems like such a quantum leap, some huge chasm of gap between maybe this old world and this new world. But in terms of how I see it and how I saw it again today, confirmed again, the quantum leap is a hair's breadth away. It's like the distance, right? Between the right mind and the left mind. I don't know if my hands are the right way around there, but between, the both hemispheres of the brain that govern different parts of our senses, our masculine self, our sensitive kind of feminine self, there's a little bridge between those two hemispheres, and it's this big, it's very small. And yet it seems like to go from the right thinking into the left thinking, or the right, the other way around, is a huge shift. They're massively different from each other, and yet they work together as the same brain. We're whole because of it. And that part in the middle is that quantum shift. And that for me is a good way of describing where we are now. We're crossing that bridge between the hemispheres, between the worlds. Not so that we just know, okay, I'm going from left brain into right brain, or from old world into new world, but so that the worlds collide, the worlds come together as a whole. There's not one or the other. It's duality, but duality in harmony, duality working together. Separation, apparent separation, I still have a body, but wow, I don't feel separate from anybody or anything else. I know myself as whole and complete. I know myself as the perfection, as the very perfection that created me, and that I am perfect, and there is no distinction between the two. And yet I have this separate, individual, incredible experience. I get to experience it as a person in a body with my very own senses. I get to taste my own essence. I get to see the light of God, and know that I am that. That's incredible. It's not one or the other. It's not old world or new world. It's no separation. It's absolute harmony. I call it divine order. It's beautiful. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to fall. There is no wrong. There is no right. It's absolute. And I feel and I know with my whole heart, with my whole being, and I check it with my senses, you know, and I stretch my senses out as far as I can put them. And I put them as far in as I can to see things inside of people and inside of myself. And I have a beautiful experience. And again, I can just share that today I had another confirmation that that preparation has been done. You've done the work. It's a bit like you've hung the Christmas lights up. The work is, you know, we've put all of the things in place. They're waiting maybe for that moment of being switched on. We've spent a lot of time and a lot of energy. Everything that you've ever thought of, everything that you've ever created is all there in place. You've done it. And then this moment very soon, I mean now really is the moment, and it could be this now moment is getting more and more present, more and more constant for us. It just seems like, what's the time? The time is now. More, you know, I think you know what I'm talking about. It seems like that more than ever. The distinction of time and the barrier of time seems like more and more intangible. But what I'm talking about is as we're coming up, building up to this moment of a quantum shift, where something huge can happen just like that in a split second, in the hair's breadth of a moment, where something can be switched on, something can be ignited and alighted, where our Christmas lights, all the decorations that we've hung, all the work and effort that we've made can suddenly, and is coming and is happening and is going to happen, this moment of ting, the lights get switched on. And we get to see it. We get to see the hard work. You can't tell so much before the lights are switched on what it's going to look like. You can't see the glory and the beauty so well. You just know you've been working really hard. And when those lights get switched on, you get to see that work. You get to see the glory. You get to see the efforts that have been made. You get to see the beauty that's been created. And everyone can stand in appreciation and go, yeah. And just celebrate and just actually receive it in, instead of that putting out energy all the time. Do. It becomes that moment of, yeah. Let me bask in the light. Let me take in the beauty. Let me absorb it and feel that fulfillment and feel that celebration. Well, that time is now, you know? And maybe it happens in a bit of a ripple, or maybe it happens in a bit of a wave, and maybe it happens at different moments for every person. But maybe that's all just part of the preparations as well, as we get more and more and more ready. You know, your light is switched on, your light is ready to be lit with the whole parade, with the whole procession. And maybe that's the procession of the equinoxes. Maybe that's something else that I'm talking about. Or just this alignment that happens inside. So, if that's worth anything, it was a pleasure to share. I just really love just to be able to go, okay, let's just take the barriers off. Let's just take I want my conditions to be right before I show myself and reveal myself and express myself. And maybe people will like it and maybe they won't. And maybe some people will think this or some people will think that. And maybe I'm just, who am I? Anyway, I don't care anymore. I care deeply, but it's just such a pleasure to share. It's such a pleasure to express. I love sharing. I love it. Conditions aren't perfect. I'm sitting in my bedroom, kids downstairs making a lot of noise, the telly's on, cars are going outside, but just the pleasure of being able to sit here and know that we're touching one another, know that we're connected, know that we're having this experience together. You're not separate from me and I'm not from you. And even though there's a screen or it's just a computer, here we are and we're touching each other and we feel the same things and we are the same things. And I love you. I love you from one human to another. And I love you from the light of God to the other light of God. And enjoy my separation from you so that I can admire you, so that I can love you, as you can do the same with yourself and you can do the same with me. So thank you for this pleasure, and I love you, and blessings. Know that you're coming home. Connect in. Feel it for yourself. See if it's true for you. Thank you.